Hello, and welcome to the Love Life, Live Life Fitness podcast, the premier podcast where we talk about topics ranging from health and fitness, performance and sport, and wellness and rehabilitation. We tie these topics together to understand their impact on our daily lives and our journey to be the best version of ourselves. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy today's episode. Hello and welcome to today's episode. Today, we would like to welcome Quinn. Quinn, thank you for coming on. If you don't mind, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, Angelo, thanks for having me on. My name is Quinn Barham, and I'm an assistant strength conditioning coach at the University of Kentucky within the football program. And so I've been here since January of this year. And so I've been in collegiate strength conditioning for going on 13 years now. And so I love what I do. I love fitness. I love developing people, helping people. So I'm glad to be on with you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right now, with your experience at Kentucky, do you mind just telling us a little bit more about kind of your career path, educational path, and kind of how you got to where you're at currently?
Yeah, so undergrad for me was at Penn State, and so it was an exercise science major, and I knew I wanted to work with the human body. And originally, I wanted to be a celebrity personal trainer, so I wanted to train like Kevin Hart or Denzel Washington and get him ready for his next movie and just travel the world with him. And then next thing you know, I'm like, you know what? I don't know how realistic that is for me. And this was back in 2007, 2008, and so I'm like, I came upon strength conditioning. And so playing football, we had coaches in the weight room. And I'm like, this seems pretty cool. You get to stay around the game, you get to work with the athletes. And it's like I was already used to what they were going through and the schedule and the demands, things like that. I'm like, let me explore this. And so did an internship during the spring semester of my senior year at Penn State. And next thing you know, I'm like, I really enjoy this. I really like this. And so, and I was able to connect with my teammates in a different way than just being kind of their teammate. And so I'm like, I want to take this somewhere. Then that goal from personal trainer came to be a physical therapist. So I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe I can help guys get back from injury. And so I did an internship at a local physical therapy clinic up there in Bellefonte, Pennsylvania, and loved it. But I'm working with your 67-year-old uncle, try to do his gardening work again or climb a ladder. And I'm like, this is fun because you're helping people, but not the same as helping the 15-year-old softball player come back from an ACL injury. So that helped me kind of narrow things down. So once I was finished at Penn State, brief career in the NFL, signed a free agent contract with Detroit Lions. I was there for roughly 2 months or so during the summer workouts and rookie minicamp, and got cut. Came back home to North Carolina in my parents' home. I was lucky enough for them to bring me back in, and so started working. How can I become a collegiate strength coach? That was the goal. So contacted my former coaches and my former strength coaches at the time. And hey, what are y'all doing? How can I get in your position? Next thing you know, I'm interning at NC State, interning at Duke University, UNC Chapel Hill, just working those schools in that area, that Raleigh-Durham, Chapel Hill area, and just building connections and just clocking hours. Then I'm interning at North Carolina A&T State University. Next thing you know, I get a phone call. I'm at UNC Chapel Hill, and I'm working there for my first year coaching, 2014. 2015, I go to NC State. And in 2016, I'm blessed. Out of nowhere comes the Ohio State for 7 seasons. And then I get an opportunity to become a head strength coach at Coastal Carolina University for 3 seasons. And then at the end of December 2025, had a shift at Coastal. The next thing I know, I'm at University of Kentucky in January. And here we are in April 2026.
That's an awesome experience. I mean, going all the way, being at Penn State, going all the way back to the Carolinas and then Ohio State and then Kentucky. I think that's just shows the depth of connection that you have yourself, as well as that the field of strength and conditioning does have about, you never know what type of opportunities may present themselves and where you might be. And so I think that's just awesome. And it's a testimony to, one, your hard work as, coming out of being a collegiate student athlete all the way to, working, staying dedicated to pursuing passions in the career of health and fitness. So that's
Yeah,
awesome.
man, absolutely. And no journey is the same as another. I didn't I got my master's degree uh, 8 years later at Ohio State. And so typically people think in strength conditioning, I have to intern, then be a GA, get my master's degree, and then get a job. That's not necessarily the case. A lot of times you work your butt off, you build the connections, but you have to put in some free work. You have to volunteer, spend time, expose yourself to different environments, different coaching styles, different settings, different sports, different sport cultures. And then, you build those networks, you start developing yourself, reading, getting different certifications, learning different disciplines within strength conditioning and fitness. Um, Next thing you know, opportunities start coming. And so I firmly believe if you put in the work, you will reap what you sow. And that's kind of how my journey has gone. And I did not get here by myself. It's a testament. I'm a testament to a lot of people who helped me along the way, whether it's a word of advice, a word of encouragement. Hey, go read this, go study this. Hey, here's this person's contact information. Call them, email them, direct message them, and just that diligence, just staying with it, has helped get me to this point. I'm still going. I'm still working. Got a long way to go.
Awesome. Good, good. And I think that's a great point too, that, a lot of times we put in the work and nothing wrong with thanking yourself for the effort that you put in, but also thanking those along the way, even the little connections or the little conversations that may empower you or just guide you in one direction. I think that's huge. So thank you for that. Right now, currently being at Kentucky, what does your day to day look like to the best of your ability to kind of explain to the listeners kind of what you do and how you do it?
Yeah, at this point in my career, I've been a head strength coach. I really enjoyed that time, and because you get to lead a football team, and now in this case, I'm in a support role, and so I know how to be a great soldier. I know how to be a great assistant, and so that's the primary focus: is how can I help our head strength coach Brandon Roberts and support his vision and build a program where we develop championship caliber athletes so we can win games. I mean, win SEC football games, win SEC championship, and then get to a point where we can win a national championship. Um, and so being in this role allows me to support him in a way that because I've had experience as a director and as a head, I can help see his blind spots. And Coach Roberts is awesome, really good coach, great human being, pure heart. And so, but he can't see it all. He can't do everything. And so my job is to help him as well as some of our other assistants here and help him, like I said, do his job better and to also take the heat off of him in some cases and take a load off of him when it comes to programming, coaching, and developing a team of 110 football players.
Awesome, awesome. And currently,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
let me keep on going day to day. So, um, let's say in the off season, in January, in the winter, we have workouts. We have workout times at 6:30 a.m., um, 8:30, and 10. I believe, excuse me, 6:30, 8:15, and 10. And so our guys, they would run first on the field, and sometimes it'll be just a dynamic warm up on the field. Sometimes we do some conditioning, some speed work, acceleration, max velocity, roughly 45 minutes or so, and then come inside and lift. So we would have three training groups: run first, lift second, each about 45 minutes or so. And then we're going 4 days a week. So Monday, Tuesday, our in the weight room are max effort days, max effort upper body days, max effort lower body days. Wednesday will be a recovery day. We have yoga, different things like that. And then Thursday, Friday in the weight room would be our dynamic effort days. And then we would do some change of direction and conditioning on the back end there. And so I usually arrive for about 45 minutes or so before our meeting time in the morning. We have a staff meeting, go over the workouts for the day, the technique, the coaching cues, the setup. Also, I'm an intern coordinator, so I help direct them as well and how they can support our staff and the team. Next, we're training the guys. So, like I said, I may get in as early as 5:45, 6 o'clock. We meet, we go over the plan for the day, and then once that last group is over by roughly 11:30, 12 o'clock, we meet as a staff, kind of look over, debrief what went well, what didn't go well, how do we get better. check GPS reports, the yardage, check the weights that were used, modifications that need to be made. And after that meeting, we train ourselves. We train as a staff. It's mandatory. You got to train. You can't be a strength coach and not train. So we definitely get our workouts in, our training sessions in. Then next, um, around 3 or 4 o'clock, things kind of start to slow down, um, and then you start planning for the next day. And then for me, right around 5:30, I go pick up my children from school, and then I go home, be a husband, be a dad, and do it all over again the next day.
Awesome. Sounds like a full day, but honestly, sounds like a really exciting day too in different ways. I mean, all the way from being in the morning and then getting there to where you're, motivating those guys, as well as like I think being a leader, not only in your previous experiences, but also like now being a support, but also being a leader to um, the interns. I think that's such a big role in showing that, you in your experiences that you can help lead a group as well as you're leading a group just in a different way in terms of you're leading the future. You want to say that, and I think that that is such an awesome experience and being able to not only be a husband, be a dad, and you have your kids yourself, but also helping these young adults and seeing like where they're at. They're trying to put in the time right now to hopefully be where you're at or in different ways, maybe in higher positions or lower positions, wherever they want to be. I think
Hmm.
that's awesome that you're doing that because I think that's such a big thing. I'll speak on myself that being an intern at some points in my life, you know, it comes with some hard work, some labor, and that's part of the game, and
Yep.
and that's okay. Like you learn a lot during those times, as well as sometimes when you're put on small tasks, you like it feels like you're leveling up a little bit, and then when
Hmm.
you get on a big task,
Hmm.
sometimes it's like a big moment, but knowing that you have someone such as yourself being a coordinator helping you out, that helps out so much because they trust you. In your case, you're trusting them enough that hey, we're all a team here. We're gonna succeed together. We're gonna fail together. But at the end of the day, we're gonna just try to get better in general. So I think that's
That's
all.
it. That's it. With our guys, we have 5 interns. Some are UK students, exercise science students, and then some aren't. Some have graduated already. And so we try to create a team environment where hey, we're teammates. We have to depend on each other, whether it's for setup, cleanup, spotting, coaching, however it may be. We want to expose them to as much as we can during their time with us. And so it's tough to get the full spectrum of what it takes to coach in this field and within football. So we try to get them opportunities to learn how to spot, learn how to coach the athletes, how to motivate them, how to communicate with them, understanding basic concepts in our field, energy system development, um, exercise selection, exercise order, doing a needs analysis, writing your own program. Just if anything, learning our program in and out so that you can program the exact same way we do it before you leave here. And so eventually, by supporting the practical side on a day-to-day basis, you support that with reading and learning and while doing your own studies online, they should know it starts to click.
Mhm.
And so we don't want interns that just clean up trash and um, load, unload different things. And I mean, we want guys and women who actually want to be coaches. And so we want them to leave here like, I want to stay. We want them to be able to call their mom and dad, support them. Hey, I need to stay here. I need more time. I want more. Like I love it here. I don't want to leave. And so, I mean, we're here, we're kicking in my office. Next, we're laughing and joking, just about maybe somebody might have messed up on the floor, said the wrong thing. We're talking about life. We're talking about, just responsibilities as men, responsibilities as boyfriends, or just life. And we enjoy that because if we're gonna be with each other 6, 7, 8 hours a day, we gotta like each other. And in order to like each other, you gotta spend time with each other and find each other, find commonalities and find similarities. So we try to create that type of environment. And we don't want you to just be a collegiate football strength and conditioning coach. You may want to open up your own gym back home. May want to go back home and turn your high school into a powerhouse and through the weight room. There are a lot of high schools that don't have strength and conditioning coaches, and it's like that because that's an area of need. You could go be that. If you want to do online personal training, that's you. This is just exposure. And so we like I said, we don't want them or force them to be um, just football strength conditioning coaches. No, 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 no. It's about exposure and experiences, and make this such a fun time that you don't want to leave. And I think we're doing a good job of that.
That's awesome, and I think that's a great way to go about it because sometimes people's interests change. Again, with connections, you might be in a whole different sport or a different place, but I think having that ability to take in what you're doing and what you're teaching them, and the entire strength coaching in the performance department, what you're learning from that experience. There's always things that you can take away from an experience that is going to help you see what you want, like, eventually for your own career. So that's great. That's great. Right now, in your experience and your previous experiences, how would you say, um, how would you say fitness is something that has molded you to be who you are today? Or even if it hasn't molded you, how has fitness started to influence your life?
Oh man, I remember it started with um, seeing the magazines at the grocery store, in the grocery, like the magazine aisle in the grocery store. And I would go with my parents and I would see like the muscle and fitness flex magazines, men's health. You see these just muscular dudes on the cover, and sometimes they had a girl on them. And I'm like, yo, like, never seen that before. Like, I want to look like that. Um, or you had action figures. And let's say you had a Batman action figure, or you might have had a WWE, WWF action figure. I mean, dudes are rocked up. And it's like, people want to walk around looking like that. And it's like, that's cool. And I'm like, how do you look like that? So next thing I want to buy these magazines, and you're in middle school, high school, next thing that testosterone's kicking in, hormones and all that. You like, yo, I want to do that. And um, I'm reading those magazines, and then I had access to our weight room in high school, and we didn't have a strength coach, and I just followed the magazine. Hey man, bench press 4 sets of 12, push-ups, pull-ups. You just started doing whatever the magazine said because you thought it would make you look like those guys, following the dietary recommendations, and next you know you look a little bigger in the mirror. Next you know your chest getting a little bigger, arms getting a little bigger. You're like, what is this? And next you know your confidence grows, and you're like, yo, I think we got some here. And then people start noticing it. And then I say, if you're playing a sport, it helped me be a better football player. So I'm like, oh. And then you start reading up about it just in a general fitness benefit. It makes life easier. I can carry more things. Um, I can move more furniture easily. I can help my family. I can cut the grass more efficiently, or whatever I'm asked to do. So there's just so many benefits to it. And I'm like, yo, I'm gonna continue this. And then once I understood the health benefits, just increasing longevity, just the positive feelings you get, your dopamine aspect, the all those different things. It's like, man, I got to continue this. And so I'm a big proponent of just fitness and training and moving your body, moving against resistance. And I've just continued it. I mean, I don't feel right at this point without training and working out in some type of form. And I have different guidelines and mandatory things I have to do daily. I try to get 10,000 steps every day. Um, I'm on my feet at work coaching. So, and then I got to look like I train. I can't look fat and sloppy in front of my athletes. So I'm 36. I'll be 37 in August. I got to do something. And I like the challenge, be able to program for myself, program for others, and then get out there and go do it because the benefits are still the same. Like I just finished training about 45 minutes ago. So like, I ain't gonna stop anytime soon because it just makes life better.
Hmm. Yeah, that physical fitness aspect. I mean, taking care of yourself. I mean, and for some people, that carries over to the mental aspect of it too. I mean, just being able to, take care of yourself, and there are proven health benefits for that. But also, finding something you enjoy. I know not everybody likes to lift, not everybody likes to run, but there's always different types of physical movement that is important for anyone listening or anyone who is just starting out with anything with fitness. So I think for you to be able to see these magazines, be motivated by things that are right here and that are actually achievable, you know what looks like on a magazine may not be the same for you, but it gives you that motivation to actually put in the work, and you're going to start to learn how putting in the work it carries over to different things. Just as you said, lifting more, it started to help translate to the game, and that it helped you like become a better athlete. So I think that's awesome. That's really good.
Absolutely. And you got to think, man, we only have one body. We got one body. And so if you have a vision for yourself, and whether that's professionally, personally, maybe you want to reach the top of your field, or you want to, reach a certain goal, um, with sales or whatever it is, if you want to be at the top of your game, in the field you're in, you only got one body that can do it. And if you don't have the energy, you don't have the capacity to work 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 15, 16 hours a day, just because you're so tired, then you're losing money. You're losing opportunities. So it's like it benefits you overall. Now, sometimes people think I gotta lift 500 pounds. No, you just need resistance. Your body needs to push against something, to pull something, pick up something, squat to go get something. You need to elevate your heart rate for an extended period of time. You do that 3, 4 times a week, like you're going to see the benefits. You're going to feel the benefits. Um, but that's something that people have to have for themselves. You got to have a vision in your mind of like, yo, how do I want to look? How do I want to perform? What do I want to achieve? As a husband and a father, I got enough motivation. Now, as a husband, father, leader, coach, I got enough. I got enough things that are pushing me, that I can get up and go get. Just having, and also for anybody, just having the gift of life. Okay, the fact that we're sitting on this call right now talking, and whoever's listening, but you got another day, you got another moment. So take advantage of it. And then if you start to have a good day, you start to have success, replicate that success by doing the exact same things. Spending time around the right people, moving your body, even if just walking around the parking lot, even as walking through the neighborhood for 20, 30 minutes, walking your dog, maybe jogging, doing intervals, jog a little bit, walk a little bit, jog a little bit, walk a little bit. I mean, there's so many things you can do out here, that it's almost no excuse. And so I believe in performing at a high level. And so I like being around high performers. I want to build and develop high performers because I know the benefits that they bring. And so, yeah, you got to move your body, and you got one. So I'm 36. Like I said, I'm trying to see 76. I'm trying to see 86, and still be moving around. And it's like I want my son and my daughter to be like, yo, that's my dad right there. Don't mess. I want my husband. I want my wife to be like, hey, yeah, that's him. And it's like, but that's what I want them to say about me. So if you're a person listening to this, what do you want to how do you want to feel about yourself? How do you want, when you look in the mirror, do you want to be like, yo, I'm proud of the person that I've become and the work that I've done? You got to figure that out. But I want that for you. I want you to put that work in, and you'll see the benefits.
No, couldn't sound better. That's so true. Being you touched on a great point. Being thankful for life, being thankful for the good, the bad, the happy, the sad, just being thankful for it all because everything. Again, there's something that you can take from it, and as well as just being able to understand that you know you might not have a plan for your life right now. God's plan is greater for one, but also just being present in where you're at. You know, Sometimes you got to take some time for yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you're just on the go. But regardless of where you're at, just being taking at least a moment, even if it's less than a minute, just being present on where you're at, being thankful, and just like you said, trying to get after, imagining, and even picturing just where you want to be or what you think you can achieve. Just kind of go for it. You may not always be in a position right now to, be where you want to be. However, what you can do is just start thinking, taking the small steps, connecting, putting in the work yourself. All those things that you were saying, I think doing those just down daily, that's gonna be big.
That's it. You got it.
Kind of to that point, and you kind of started to touch on that for anyone who's listening. But what advice would you give to anyone listening who wants to be in a similar role as you, or even go down different career paths, such as that you have been in? Either you want to be, directors, you want to be in assistant roles, or kind of anything that they want to. What advice would you give for anybody?
Yeah, you got to have a vision. You got to know what you want. You got to know what you want. And in order to to even know what you want, you got to be exposed to many different things. You got to go visit people, watch them do their job. Like, if you think about it, go back to when you were a child, and not all of us had this experience, but most of us did, where you went to work. Maybe you were out of school and you went to work with your parents, and you got a chance to see what they did on a day-to-day basis. I remember both my parents are in insurance. My dad is still working at State Farm, and I remember going to his office when we were on whether spring break or whatever, going to his office and just spending time watching him work. Phone calls, taking pictures of different properties and car wrecks and all that, and that was just exposure. And it's like, well, now once it came time to start looking into careers in high school, I'm like, well, I've been around my dad. I've seen insurance. He's successful at it. But is that something I want to do? And not really. But it was the exposure. So you got to get out and visit people. You got social media. Look, start locally. DM people, email people. Hey, can I just shadow you? Can I come watch you do your job? You can come to Kentucky football right now. Hit us up. Contact me. Contact Coach Roberts, Coach Joe Midday, Coach Joe Powell, Coach Shayon Guest. Hit us up. You want to come watch? More than likely we can find a way to get you in. You just watch what we do. And if something excites you about it, boom, it might be something. Maybe you spend time with a an attorney, or you spend time with a plumber. Just get around and be exposed to it. So it starts with I believe exposure. Get around just different people and different careers, different disciplines. Um, Next thing you know, you have a vision. All right, I like this, I don't like that. So the things that you do like, okay, I like this weight room environment. I like the music. I like the excitement. I like the energy in here. All right, what goes into that? And then you start interning and shadowing, things like that, spending time. Then you build connections, ask questions. You develop lists of questions. Hey, coach, why do y'all do that? Why did you program it like this? Why did you organize the workout like that? Where'd you get this information from? How can I get more? What books did you read? What do you do in your spare time? How do you rejuvenate, restore yourself, coach? So spend time doing things like that, asking those questions. Um, Watching videos on YouTube. I mean, I watched videos of who I thought were the best strength coaches at the time. This is in 2013 and 14. Who were the best? I was trying to scour the internet for their content. And so now you got infinite videos of what different teams and schools are doing for workouts and training. So you watch them. And next thing you know, it's all right, I'm going to take a chance on myself. How can I get into an official position, whether that's unpaid intern, volunteer, paid intern, GA? How can I get in this space and learn more? Now, I'll tell you, to be a coach at this level, you have to be a servant. You have to have a servant's heart, or else you won't last long. You have to be willing to give more than what you expect. Um, Another thing I learned is, in order to be a servant and to give, you have to have something to give, which means you have to do the work within yourself. So I'm trying to give knowledge every day. I'm trying to give education and wisdom every day because I acquired it so that I can give it to somebody else. If you're going to spend this much time in the weight room, meetings, and doing all these different things to help these guys succeed at this level and beyond, we got to know what's out there. We got guys who just got drafted to the NFL. I've been a part of a lot of guys who got drafted to the NFL, and it's like, as a coach, you got to know what's out there, what's in that wilderness. So they said, I can help you when you get there, or I might be there in that wilderness with you, helping you get through it. So spending that time. So you got to, one, like I said, you got to have a vision. You got to know what you want. Two, you got to get exposed and get around it. And then three, start writing out your plan. Get around those people who have that knowledge that you want to have. And then just do the work. And you have to eliminate distractions. Once you know those things that you want, and next thing you know, you start bringing in things that are aligned with what you want. Then you get so focused on that, and to the point where anything that does not align with that vision and that goal and those goals, it has to go. It has to go, or else you'll be going on the wrong path and you end up wasting 2-3 years of your life and a lot of money along the way. So have a vision, exposure, and then have a plan for your life. Write things down and follow that plan and go get it. You got one life. Don't waste it on some bull crap, whether it's on your on social media, wasting time scrolling, watching somebody else live their life when you can go get yours.
So true, so true, and I think that's great advice. You know, having the vision and being able to, just have something in plan for yourself. You know, not all plans succeed or go again the way you want, but having that ability to and the motivation to start getting focused enough to, try to pursue what you want, or at least
Mhm.
start getting close to what you want. You never know where you might end up or how close you might get to what you want. And
Yep.
and even then sometimes you might get what you want, it might not be what you expect. But that's okay. You live and you learn and you try to navigate through those different things or those different paths. But just trying to, do your research and then just have a focus, like you said, get into that and having that plan and that vision. But that's
That's
awesome.
it. That's it.
Um, yeah. I got just a couple more questions for you, and then I'll go ahead and let you get going. I know you got a lot of things going on. I will say, for you, what does it mean to love your life and live your life?
Loving your life, I believe, starts with appreciation, and appreciation through within appreciation comes reflection. So if you just think about where you were yesterday, last week, a month ago, 2 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and just think about where you were then and just look at how far you've come. And I believe I'm a big believer in celebrating your wins. And wins can be big and small in between. But you have to look at where did I come from? How far did I come from? And start just appreciating just the fact that you're here, the fact that I have 2 legs, 2 arms, I'm breathing, I can speak. I have the opportunity and the ability to lift weights and train and take care of my body. I have these gifts that no one else has in the world. Um, God has blessed me in many different ways. He's put great people around me. He's put me in spaces that I probably never thought I'd be in on my own. So start with that appreciation of what you have because you didn't get on your own. People say they're self-made, you ain't self-made. Somebody did something even behind the scenes for you that you had no idea. Whether they prayed for you, made a phone call for you, or made a text message on your behalf, or a DM or email or whatever it is, somebody did that for you, and you might not even know it. So you're not self-made. Now you could pat yourself on the back because you put in that work in some form, but somebody helped you along the way. So appreciating those opportunities, those people, um, is a part of loving life. I think part of loving life is laughter, just being able to laugh at just the things you come across, whether it's laughing with people, laughing at, no, I can't say laughing at yourself, but laughing with people at certain different things in life, appreciating the beauty in life, the outdoors, animals, clothing, great sleep, great rest, great music, so many things to appreciate out here. I think that's part of loving your life. Um, I would definitely start there with loving your life and just appreciating those different things and just understanding it could be different. It could be different. And then think about how it could be different. Like I made it to work safely this morning. Some people probably didn't. Think about that car accident you drove by maybe last week or 2 weeks ago. It's like that could have been you, but it wasn't. And if it was you, I pray that you've been healed or you're healing. But just think about you could have been sick. So it's like it's so many things we could be grateful for. So many things, endless amount of things, and I think that goes into loving your life. I think part of loving your life is giving. A lot of people are searching for their calling and their purpose in life, and a lot of people tell you, I just want to help people. I want to help people. Well, how you have to look into how you want to help people. But because we have that inner desire just to help people in some type of way, um, that means you got something to do in this world. And you got to go on that journey and try to figure out and try to find it. And so a part of love is giving, having just giving yourself, whether it's your time, your energy, your talents, and your treasures and your abilities, giving it to somebody else to make their life better and their quality and improve their quality of life. I think that goes into love. So yeah, that's what I think loving your life is about.
Thank you for that. Thank you. And I think that selflessness is, it's something that's, nothing can ever replace, selflessness and being able to, again, use those God given abilities and spread them out to someone else because it's going to help someone else in some way. So thank you. Thank you. Um, I think that's really all the questions that I got for you today. But another big question. You've been talking about Kentucky, you've been talking about your experiences. I know there's going to be a lot of people with a lot of different questions. Where's the best place that people can find you?
Best place you can find me would be on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Quinn Barham, QuinnBarham. Make it simple. Easy to find me. You see the bald head, you see the smile, you see the beard. That's me. It's the same thing on my Twitter X. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on pretty much every major platform. I'm on TikTok. I kind of watch everybody else on TikTok. I don't really post like that. Um, but I'm out there. But the main thing is Instagram. Hit me up there. I'm always willing to dialogue and chop it up, talk, and just spread love, spread joy, spread wisdom, knowledge, um, and really promote strength conditioning, promote what we do and what we're about, because I believe we got the best job in the world. I believe we have the best job in the world. We get to wear t-shirts, shorts. We listen to music all day in the weight room, just the clanging and banging of the weights and effort. We get to develop people in here, and not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually through this room. I love the values that this weight room brings. So, but that's where you can find me, man. In Lexington, Kentucky, loving this city. A lot of horses in the city. It's almost like they value horses almost more than people sometimes because they need these horses to do their thing at these horse races. We went to Keeneland last week with my family, and that's a horse track. And it's a series of horse races for about 21 days or so. And it was awesome. It was awesome. My kids loved it just to see the horses. And I placed a couple bets and made a couple dollars, having some fun out there. Um, so we're enjoying this life, man. This weather's a little funky out here. It's nice, but it's a little bipolar some days. Some days it'll be 75 and sunny, and then some days it'll be 37 and cloudy and dark. Um, but we're enjoying it. It's great people. Shout out to Big Blue Nation. They love their Kentucky Wildcats. Every sport, if you're involved with the Wildcats, they love you. They want to see you do well, and we're enjoying our time here.
Awesome. That's great to hear. And I wish you the best of luck, obviously, throughout the rest of your off season and then going into the season. And I know you're such a great guy and you have a lot of great people around you. So I wish you nothing but the best and just go keep getting after it.
Appreciate it, Angelo. Thank you, man. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. I also want to thank our wonderful guests for coming on today. For more content, you can find us on Instagram at Love Life, Live Life Fitness. Stay tuned for our next episode, and as always, love your life and live your life.